Build Bonanza is the toy that can convert any surface into a building block base. That's today's review, so let's check it out. So how you use this is you cut it to your desired length, and there's a sticky backing that you just unpeel this to expose that. Stick it to your surface. You can also supposedly reposition it and reuse it over and over again. And if it gets dirty, you can supposedly wash it and continue to reuse it. So let's try all that and see all the different surfaces we can use with Build Bonanza. On the commercial, they show it down a table with a bunch of Legos on it. So let's try that first. That stuck pretty well, actually. Like that. Okay, I've got this box of Legos. Let's start sticking things to it. I gotta say, this is pretty well on there. At least the first time I use it. Let's see how it goes in future uses, but that's pretty cool. It's not like it's flimsy, it's actually holding it pretty well. I gotta say, I'm actually a little bit impressed with this first use. It's on the side of this cabinet right here, and it's on there pretty good. Now let's see how well it removes. I wanted to try out a few things shown in the advertising, so let's see how Build Bonanza works on this ball right here. Measure it out. All right, it's nice and stuck on this ball here. Now let's see what happens when we put Legos on the Build Bonanza on the ball. See, I'm wondering how a flat piece is going to go on a curved surface. That's my big question. See, this is what I'm expecting. It's not quite able to stay all the way against it because it's a curved surface and this is flat. But let's see what we can do. For these smaller ones, that's not too bad because they're just a single one. But as the longer they get, like those aren't too bad either. These longer ones are going to have a little bit of a problem. Let's move these over. Try that some more. It holds really well. As far as the adhesive to the ball, holds very well. I'm not sure if on round surfaces you're going to get all the effects that you want because you're still dealing with a rounded surface and a flat piece. Okay, well, it took me hitting it pretty hard for it to fall off, so I'm pretty happy with how it holds. So far, I think it's doing pretty well. Let's see how it does going around a corner from upside down to the side of a wall. That might be pretty cool to check out. In one hand. Not straight, but I was doing one hand, so forgive me on that. Okay, then you just add your Legos there. And that's actually pretty cool. I'm impressed at how sticky this tape is on the back. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but I'm going to figure that out. Another thing they show in the advertising is the Build Bonanza being used as a bridge. I'm not sure how you would do that by applying the Lego pieces, but I'm going to try to find out right now. Here's what I've got. It's between these two tables. I'm going to try to apply Legos as best I can. I guess you'd have to maybe put your hand underneath it, but that's sticky down there. It's sticking to my fingers when I do that. This seems a little bit too sticky for your bottom, on the bottom of your fingers, and it's kind of messing up. Let me put it on a flat surface, apply them, and then try to move it. Okay, now the idea is to peel this off and then make it into a bridge. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. That seemed to work a little bit better. I think the bridge is a little bit hard because either your fingers are going to stick to the bottom, or when you peel it off the table, some of the pieces are going to come off. But it is possible because I just did it. It's just not as easy. All right, so we know that it works right out of the box, but how does it work over time? What happens when I keep attaching, removing, and reattaching this piece to this mirror over and over again? And see how many times it takes before it degrades, and then if I can wash it off and re-establish how sticky it was in the beginning. Let's try that. On the mirror, 25 times, it still feels quite sticky. I'm wondering if maybe we need a little bit dirtier surface like a wall that's not so smooth, not so clean, and see if I can get it to degrade. Let's try that out. This has been attached, removed, and reattached over 50 times between the wall and the mirror, and it's still sticking. I'm going to put some Legos on there after the 50th time, and I'll show you that it's still holding up. This has been attached, removed, and reattached 50 times, and it's still holding up pretty well. I didn't really feel like I got Build Bonanza quite dirty enough to test out how well it can be washed and reused, so I'm going to try to up the game a little bit and put it on a doormat and get it nice and dirty and then wash it off. There, look at that nice hair. Now let's rinse this off and see what happens. Just gonna let that sit for a little bit, dry off, and then we'll try it out. All right, it is dry now. Let's see how it works. It's still sticky, even after being through the dirt and washed. Very nice. I'm not sure if Build Bonanza is going to be as good for curved surfaces as they show in the advertising, but for flat surfaces, it works pretty well. For curved surfaces, the flat blocks still have a hard time staying on for obvious reasons, but flat surfaces, it does really well. They don't really accommodate for how to store them, so I'm just putting them rolled up on themselves, and I'll unstick them, which seems to have worked pretty well so far, so that's how I'm going to store them. And again, in an update, if that doesn't work out too well, I'll let you know. I was just wondering what would happen if I attached this Build Bonanza to my car while I'm driving around. How well it would hold up there. Let's try it out. Yeah. Just gotta make sure not to roll my window down. All right, Build Bonanza on the car. Now let's see what happens when I get on the freeway and drive around with that. People are looking at my window wondering what is on the side of my window. And it's still in place. Not one, I mean, I only put a couple on there just to see how it worked. Not one of them fell off. Pretty cool. As with all of my other reviews that I do, I'll continue to use Build Bonanza, and I'll let you know how it holds up in a future update. Build Bonanza is not the only product like this. You may have heard of Namuno loops or Gadgets loops. Those also function about the same as Build Bonanza. But on its own merits, I think Build Bonanza works surprisingly well. I actually had kind of low expectations for it, thinking that the sticky backing was going to be its downfall, but the sticky backing holds up very well. I'm pretty impressed with how well it's doing so far. I picked up Build Bonanza at a local As Seen on TV store for about $13. What do you think about Build Bonanza? Would you try it? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And please subscribe for more As Seen on TV product reviews from me, James White, with Freakin' Reviews.